Okay, I just hit record, and let's go over here. Hello everybody, welcome back to Talkin Tricks, and today we are making a tier list. That's right, it's about time.
We're going to be tackling trick names, essentially. Not just trick names, I'm sorry, but like, just basically trick terminology and the words that we use. We're going to be ranking them here on this tier
and like
list.
how logically consistent they are, how well they fit into the whole trick theory thing, and even just our personal feelings about it. Obviously, like, we're gonna have some biases towards certain things and other things.
Of course.
So, but yeah, we're gonna rank it all. This is a definitive list, and no other list is correct. So
right. This objective and unbiased list.
Yeah, exactly, and we're gonna have like clinical names, nicknames, colloquial names, and like old school stuff and new school stuff, and like not only tricks but also transitions, and like we pretty much have the whole fucking gambit, right? So we're just gonna go through super randomly, like there's no particular order to this, it's just how they pop up. So the actual first one is TIE Fighter. Alright, so we got TIE Fighter right here. If I could actually fucking drag this shit. Oh my god. Alright, so TIE Fighter. What trick even is this, actually? I don't even know.
A TIE Fighter is a variation, I'm pretty sure, actually.
Yeah.
It's both a trick and a transition, where it started out as a trick and became a transition.
Right.
And it's kind of like a figure 4 round.
Oh.
It's something similar to that. Like, I know our trick theorists in the comments are going to destroy me for this, but yeah, they should really be destroying you for not even knowing where to start.
Well, that's such a specific thing to name. Like, I'm really against naming such a specific trick name to something so oddly specific. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
and this is very much an old head relic. And you know how I feel about old head relics.
D.
They're going into the I was feeling either D or E on that one. D's fine.
Nah, E. Actually, I think TIE Fighter is a cool name in itself. Like, I wish it was for a cooler trick, but it just belongs in D. You're right.
So what's next?
God, the next one's Jesus Flip.
Jesus Flip.
So we're gonna put.
So we don't have the God tier above S. But
Yeah.
if we did. This is where that would belong.
Let's pretend it's up here. I'm.
Yeah, just go ahead and put it up there. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's beyond. Yeah, it's beyond S. We're not. Just don't even worry about it. Jesus Flip is unbeatable. I don't know if you guys have read the tricking Wikipedia, but you are literally making the shape of Christ the Redeemer. I don't think it gets better than that. Like, it's just.
Can you actually? You know what, Frank? Can you move that up a little bit higher?
Oh, even higher. Yeah. I got you. Like that?
That's perfect. Yep.
All right, cool. All right, Jesus Flip up there, perfect tier list. Next up is actually, this one's a big one. This one's 540. This is big in like the tricking, I guess, consciousness. Like, you know what I mean? Is 540 is such a big number, and it breaks my heart that I cannot put it anywhere above C. Like, it has to go below C for me.
Frank, let me tell you what my problem with 540 is. Because, like, while you're right, like, it's definitely C tier in terms of naming, because, like, most people understand what is meant by 540. But, like, from a trick theory standpoint, looking at just the word 540, or just the number 540, like, how ambiguous is that? I mean, we can obviously determine it's a 540-degree rotation. But this has neither the takeoff, nor the inversion, nor, the landing stance to inform us what is actually happening here.
And I specifically picked that too. I didn't put cheat 540. I didn't put pop 540. I said 540 because trickers will use just 540.
540.
You know what I mean?
I'm guilty of that too.
And they obviously they mean cheat 540, but regardless, they just say 540. And like I have such like hit or miss like opinions on this because I really do want to put it up a little higher because like it's a great tricking number. Like, it's super representative, but this also is very representative of the point where vert tricking terminology really got fucked up. 540 is literally where they fucked up. The transition from 540 to 720, they are both the same degree of rotation, yet they are named differently. And I think
a whole 180 degrees.
I think I'm sorry.
Okay, no, D tier for 540.
D?
I was gonna be like, all right, C is comfortable.
Okay.
I think E's a little too low.
Okay.
I'll 540.
I'll take D, even though like I know it's a controversial take, but like I'd probably personally put that in E. Like I hate to say that, but anyway, moving forward.
Controversial. I was ready for C home for 540. All right.
Whack knife.
Whack knife.
B tier.
Really? I think whack knife's okay, but I would be remiss to put it above 540. Like,
you're not wrong.
Like, don't get me wrong, but like whack knife, like, okay.
Yeah.
See, here's what's good about whack knife is whack knife describes, and I'm gonna get into a little bit earlier, or a little bit later. I'm sorry. We talked about like variations and like the naming of that and how that plays into ranking.
Right.
So this uses knife in like a really cool way,
Mm-hmm.
because it is a knife trick.
It is a round hook.
Like, yeah, it's a round or a swipe hook, whatever, and like, you know, so it uses that name, and it is like, the concept is like whack for,
Yeah.
right, like,
so it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, you know, and so maybe B is a good home for it.
That's sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's kind of what I was getting at. Is like I individually personally have really shitty feelings towards whack knife. I hate how it looks. I'm not a big fan. But the naming of it, I kind of want to put it higher actually, because it's kind of genius. It's a play on words on the word jackknife. It is truly whack, and it's technically a knife, even though it's not our common conception of a knife. Like, you know what I mean?
To that, I would even go so far as to say like whack knife is like kind of trick lingo, like where like, okay, so like something like whack, like, oh, that's whack, right? That's like lingo.
Yeah.
And like whack, I think is pretty like appropriate in trick, you know, vocabulary or vernacular, like to be said, like, you know, it'd be like, oh, that's whack, like that's appropriate or fitting.
Yeah.
So to call something like whack knife would be like extra fitting. So you know what? I think you're right. Whack knife is genius.
A tier, easily. I agree with that. I like, you convinced me even more. I already had good feelings about whack knife, but absolutely. Graham cracker. I think you expressed good feelings about this one, but I want to put it way down here just because it seems like it's just feeding someone's ego. Like,
yeah, to be honest, tricks named after another person are kind of tacky.
Yeah.
I don't know about. See, like, okay, so this is where like the actual trick bias comes into place, because like graham cracker is obviously like ridiculous.
Right. It's a cool trick.
Like,
it's a cool trick on its own, right?
Yeah, but like the name, and this is what we're looking at. We're looking at trick names here. You know, it's pretty egregious. If we got graham cracker, this could only be worse was if it was like Daniel Graham was the first person to ever land this trick and named it this. And like, that's the name of the trick.
Yeah, it's I don't want to put it in F because I won't lie, it is kind of a clever name. Like, I will give it that. I wish cracker itself was like a part of the trick in lingo, because then it'd be even more clever. Like if cracker was the name for like adding a hook after like a horizontal twist or something, then it'd be like, okay, graham cracker, easily D.
Right.
I want to put it in E, I think. How do you feel?
Yeah, I think E's a good spot for it. I don't think F, because you're right, it is pretty clever because it's a play on words.
Yeah.
So I like it.
I like my plays on words, but this next one is unforgivable, F tier. I don't care what you say, it's just going there. I'm sorry.
All right. So then the next one is Snatch Cannon. All right,
yeah.
Let me tell you, like, okay, so I'm pretty biased on this one. I actually am not a fan of Snatch Cannon.
Yeah.
I really just don't like it. The name itself, really ambiguous. I don't know what's happening. And then in addition to that, like, it's so vulgar. Like, I mean, like, okay, and I'm not a prude by any sense, but like,
well, if you listen to our podcast, you'd probably know that. But yeah.
Yeah, but like Snatch Cannon, like, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I don't even want to get into like what I imagine that would look like visually.
That'd be disgusting, actually. I mean, well,
yeah, well.
I don't know.
Have you seen on Instagram, like, I've been seeing them more lately, and I don't know why, and it's cursed, but it's like flesh-shaped, or it's like flesh-colored objects, or like objects like a cup, but it's like made out of human flesh.
Oh.
It's got like,
yeah,
like hairs and
no,
like,
I know what you mean. Yeah, that's
so
cursed.
like, I just kind of imagine like that but with the name that it implies. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. So okay, how about before I give any of my thoughts on it, where would you rank it personally?
I would put that honestly. Snatch Cannon is pretty F tier to me.
It's F.
But
Okay.
I could say E.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I don't have strong feelings about Snatch Cannon. I don't have strong like dislikes about the name, but I'm also not in love with it. And don't get me wrong, I like the funniness of just like Snatch Cannon. Like that's just ridiculous. And it's like, oh, this is, and like using different words for it, like Pussy Blaster and like other shit like that. It's like, okay, like that's funny, but like you know what? I think E tier is a good spot for it, just because yeah. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, like, don't get me wrong, like Snatch Cannon as a nickname too, and I'm being pretty harsh on it, but Snatch Cannon as a nickname is kind of like appropriate, not highly appropriate for people wanting to get into the sport, but like appropriate in terms of like the tricking lingo that we would like use, I guess, kind of.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah. I agree with you.
So I think you know, I was pretty harsh on it, but all right, what's next?
Next up is actually Gumby, if I could actually fucking grab it. And I actually love Gumby. Like, I think for some reason someone says Gumby, like, even before I started tricking, I would hear the word Gumby, I'm like, yep, this is what it is. I pictured it in my head. I knew exactly what Gumby looked like. S tier.
I think Gumby, okay. Alright, I think you're right. Gumby is pretty good. I don't know about S tier, but maybe S tier at the same time. It's either A or S because it's really good. Because I think of that green like Play-Doh guy. I don't know what it is actually.
You're not wrong. Yeah, the actual fucking Gumby. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think of him doing Gumbies, and I'm just like, that's it.
It really is what it looks like. And then on top of that, it elevates it even more because I remember Mason Rowley posting some shit about like Gumby, like that cartoon or whatever the fuck, saying like pulling up to your bitch's house or whatever, like doing Gumbies and shit, and like that also elevated it. Shit, yeah, S tier, easy S tier, honestly.
Only below Jesus Flip.
Yeah. So, oh god. So next up we have one, Areola. This is
Isn't that a literal like a human anatomy? Like that's like a nipple, bro.
Yes, it is. It is. That's my favorite part about it. I don't know if they knew that or if it was intentional, but basically,
I think it actually comes from. I'm almost willing to bet it comes from like a different
language,
like, capoeira or
like
something,
like Portuguese. Yeah. I think I agree with you. I think I absolutely agree. I don't think it was intentionally Areola, but that is a very unfortunate name.
It is extremely unfortunate.
And I think what Areola is like a B-twist setup into an aerial, which in itself does not warrant a different name in my opinion. So like this is just like I don't know, this is F tier for me.
Well, okay, so hold on. I'm gonna take a quick look at Areola really quick. Hopefully I don't get inappropriate searches. But like
put Club 540 Areola.
Too late, I already did.
Did it come Did Areolas come up?
Yes, Areolas. But like, because I kind of like Areola in the sense that it's like technically like an aerial variation, right? So like the name isn't too far off, and it's like just a weird kind of just a weird flair to that. So like the name itself, while unfortunate, isn't terrible, and I agree. Like old heads, didn't really have the best like naming conventions in mind. It's actually you start with a butterfly twist. It's actually a butterfly twist where you like front swing the aerial against your dog. Yeah.
So it's B to a step into aerial.
Front swing.
And it's like but reverse aerial. So it's like it's so oddly specific. I don't know, dude. It's weird.
I don't know about F, bro. I'd say C tier.
C? All right,
D tier. Let's drop it in D.
Let's do D. I agree with D. But now we got this motherfucker right here.
Oh, dude. I'm not even gonna just put it where it belongs.
Yeah. All right. Okay. No comment on that. Top tier name. I mean, Muggle Slayer. How could you come up with a better name for a trick? I'm sorry. It's just
okay. You know what? And I'm gonna spoil it. A variation we missed that we should have included was Skull Snapper, but like Muggle Slayer, right, is like right up there with Skull Snapper in terms of like naming. You
I
know what I'm
forgot
saying?
Skull Snapper. We need to... Yeah, Skull Snapper's also S tier. Just picture we had... Actually,
okay.
I could just add that in. Hang on. I got it. I got it. Skull Snapper. Cool. Because I agree with you. I really like the name Skull Snapper. And it's accurate.
Right. Well, at least it's like visually similar to what you would imagine, right? Because you ball up like a skull and then like snap out.
Yeah.
Quickly. Like, it's really cool. I think Muggle Slayer is like close up there in terms of like style-wise of naming. Like it seems like this medieval dude just like snapping skulls and slaying Muggles. I don't know.
It's nowhere close to Jesus Flip, but
of course.
It's up there. You know.
All right. Butterfly twist.
Butterfly twist. I'm just so neutral towards it. Personally.
You know, I actually have a little bit of an issue with butterfly twist.
Yeah.
But it's less of an issue with butterfly twist itself and more like butterfly kick, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like, what is butterfly?
Well, what is butterfly? Because it's not a real trick.
Right. Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, what is I don't know. Like. But at the same time, I also have to have, like, you know, respect for the wushu roots.
Yeah.
I know that there's, you know, wushu masters out there grinding for the butterfly, so.
Yeah. Do you think C tier is appropriate?
C is appropriate, I think, because
Okay.
it's pretty neutral. I think most people would agree.
Yeah. But, I mean, you know, I just don't have strong feelings either way, to be honest.
Yeah.
Pop kicks, though, so shit. I think there's going to be...
Okay.
What?
I think I might change your mind on pop kicks here. So pop kicks are bad. Okay, kicks are bad in general.
Yeah, I was gonna say there might be a trend of putting all the kicks in F, but go on.
But the thing though, like, okay, but here's the thing: pop kicks are the least worst kicks.
What? How?
Well, okay, they're not the absolute least worst, but they're up there with not being bad because partially because they're true trick rotation.
Okay.
So like that instantly makes it better than any of the backside kicks, which are always 180 to 360 off. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
So like, okay, so there's that. But the bad thing about pop kicks, and I think E or D is probably a good spot for it because the transition is not pop; it's always like,
it can be punch if you want.
Yes.
Or something else, like
or it could be pop, but it's yeah. See, that's the thing. It's pop kicks. I'm gonna put it in E. They get enough. They should have been called frontside kicks, and that's
they shouldn't. I think that's the main thing is we have backside kicks, and then all of a sudden pop kicks, not frontside kicks.
And it needs something completely different. You're right. F
tier.
I don't know.
F tier, and then so backside kicks. Here's the thing. I actually am kind of fond of them. Like I'm kind of fond of the name backside somehow.
So
like
that's. I think because we grew up with it as like common terminology.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a little bit of bias, which is fine. I mean, all of my decisions have been biased entirely. So.
Yeah.
But like, I kind of get it because backside kicks, along with like all the other named kicks that we like that aren't pop, right? Because we assume like swing kicks, G kicks or whatever, they all take off from the backside stance.
Right.
So like all the X number twists that aren't pop basically align in terms of rotation.
Yeah.
So that makes backside kicks kind of forgivable for being, you know, egregiously misleading.
Yeah.
I would say D tier for backside kicks.
You know what? I agree with you. Like I want to put it higher, but I also know that's not a good. It's not. I'm just being biased. Like you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, yeah. So I'm just gonna put it there. I think that's a good location for it. But oh man, while we're still in the talking about kicks,
yep.
Cheat kicks. So, cheat kicks. I don't know my feelings towards this one actually, because cheat. I mean, people always talk about over cheating and all that shit, and it's like a big deal and tricking and stuff like that. I usually don't get caught up in those conversations, and the idea that cheat kicks are named cheat kicks because there's an amount of rotation on the floor is kind of weird to me. Like I don't know what are your feelings about that, because like I don't really see that as like a true way to differentiate tricks, if that makes any sense.
Right. Well, you know how I think about, you know how I've described banish as being, or banish cheat kicks as being banish rap time. Or
yeah. Well, cheat kicks are just rap kicks, really.
Exactly, or rapid or whatever single leg takeoff you're doing. So to be honest, like, I wouldn't even group them with backside. I put them in E.
Yeah, E.
In
I think I agree with that. I think the only thing that keeps them from F is that, like, I really am kind of fond of them.
Yeah, I'd say it's a logical consistency with all backside stuff.
Yeah.
I initially wanted to put it in D, but I was like, nah.
Yeah.